I came out of my mother's vagina in a relationship. What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's registered dietitian Kara Corey here, and I wanted to do a little something different for today's video. I've seen a bunch of people doing the assumptions tag, if you will, on Instagram and on YouTube, so I thought this might be a fun opportunity for you guys to learn a little bit more about me, and also I was kind of excited to see what assumptions you guys had about me. So I asked on Instagram to let me know what you assume about me, and I'm gonna let you know if that is true or not. So I'll save the kid one for last, because that's clearly the only thing people want to know about. That's like the juiciest one I got, so.
Don't be putting your parent problems on me, people. I don't want to feel your pain.
First assumption, you would never go vegan. That is correct. I did attempt the vegan diet for like 1 week, and I kind of enjoyed it, but it was nothing I could see myself doing permanently because I was vegetarian for a long time, and I just feel better eating meat. And the vegans were not nice to me. I probably shouldn't say that on this video though. I did the vegan diet for 1 week, and I even said I was only doing it for a week, and so I got all these vegan followers, and some of you are still here. Hi, thank you for loving me still. And then after I was like, okay, like I'm done with my experiment. Like all the haters came out, all the vegan haters, and they were just throwing their hate all over me, and it wasn't cute. So yeah, I would never do it, number one, and if I did, I probably wouldn't even tell you to. But no, your girl needs her meats. I need a good sausage once in a while. I assume that you're super sweet and down to earth. I do think that's true. I might be biased, but I think I'm a sweet person, and I do think I'm pretty down to earth. I don't really have a reason not to be. I'm from a very small town in upstate New York. I feel like I'm pretty laid back personality for the most part. Like I can get along with, you could put me in the room with anyone and I can usually find something to chit chat about. So thanks. That's a nice assumption. Bitch face all day. That's why I love you. You know it. That you're the nicest person ever. See? Everyone's like, kissing my ass. And I'm not mad about it. Like, we're gonna do more of these videos. You guys friggin' hyped me up. That you're the nicest person ever. We competed together at Excalibur years ago. That was my last NPC show. And I'm mad I didn't know how nice you were. Well, thank you. You eat less than 200 grams of carbs a day. That would probably be accurate most days of the week, but it really depends. Like I, number one, don't always track macros. Number two, I go up and down based on how I'm feeling. I do actually, like when I track, I still listen to my body. So I do have some days where I go over 200 carbs, but not like consistently. And that's just for me, what my body, where I'm at to maintain. I'm not a big person despite like how tall I apparently look on the YouTubes. I'm only 5'2", and I'm just a small person, and my calorie requirements, I feel like I have been able to bump up. However, 200 carbs, like I could eat that and still be good to go. I just don't eat that most days of the week. Your girl eats some bagels this weekend. You hide yourself in terms of your let your hair down funny side, but it's been coming out more. I feel like I don't try to hide that side, but it's hard. Like, I do think I'm really funny, I'm gonna be honest. But like, and I do let my hair down. Like this girl's, I can be wild, okay? I'm a hoot and I can be the life of the party, and I like to be. It's hard to show it sometimes on camera. If you think about it, like, I'm talking to a camera, like for the most part, or sometimes my husband's behind the camera, but like I'm sitting here talking to myself. So I'm not as witty on the spot when I have no one to bounce off of, but you know, I do like to let my hair down. I try to show my personality as best I can on the YouTube channel. It's kind of hard on Instagram, I feel like, but I think there is more that meets the eye that you guys don't always see in terms of how funny I am. Assumption, you have the best hair. Assumption is accurate. Just joking. I love it when people ask if I have hair extensions though, because I have really fine hair, and sadly I feel like it is a little bit like, it's not as like poofy as it once was, but I have a really good hairstylist, and I only wash my hair like once a week, so that helps. Someone assumes that I got all A's in school. Well, that kind of depends what we're talking about. I mean, I did pretty good in school when I applied myself, but I had my phase in high school where I was like punk, I'm not gonna go to class, I'm gonna ditch class, and I don't care about grades because that's stupid. So I went through like that phase in high school, and actually I have my man Jason to thank for like helping me. Like, it worked out well that Jason was a little bit older because he kind of motivated me in a way to care about school, which is funny because he didn't really care about school. But whatever, it worked. And then in college, I did well when I applied myself. Like, it was really hard my first semester in college, like sciences and things like that. It just wasn't second nature to me. Like, I had to work really, really hard in school. It wasn't like I was that girl that just always got it. I worked with tutors sometimes, and I really worked my butt off. But there was like phases of life where I didn't do as good. If there was things going on in my outside life, my grades would drop. But overall, I think I did graduate with like summa cum laude, is that what it's called? Magna cum laude? Something laude. Laude, I don't know, what is it called? I don't know, but at the end of the day, overall, I did well, and that's something I'm proud of. Someone assumes that I was always good at sports. That's adorable, because the answer to that is no. I feel like I was kind of like, not forced into sports, but like I played t-ball growing up. Do kids still play t-ball? T-ball, and I played soccer, and I loved soccer, but there was just like some rules with soccer I couldn't comprehend, and our team always got points for me being offsides, because like I could not get down with like where I was supposed to be on the soccer field. I don't know why. So it was not natural to me. I did no sports of any type in high school. I tried joining track, and we didn't even have track. So I ended up joining a gym in high school because I wanted to do fitness and activities, but there just wasn't like a fit for me. Like, I wasn't a kid who was like just great at sports. And actually in college I wanted to get back into soccer, and then the timing just didn't work out. When I went to another school, I tried getting on their track team, and they basically laughed at me that I was even trying to get on their track team. So no, I was not someone who ever fit in that sports group. So it's funny that I found the gym like so young. Like, I was interested in the gym at like 15 years old, and it wasn't because I hated myself. I just truly like was super into working out, and it was like ingrained in me at a young age. So the gym was kind of my fit. Someone assumes that I had long-term boyfriends in school. I mean, most of you could probably tell that because I've talked about how long I've been with Jason, but actually I came out of my mother's vagina in a relationship. Like, I was boy crazy from very, very young. I had lots of boyfriends, which basically, like, when you had boyfriends in elementary school, it just meant that like you might like write like Kara like loves so-and-so, but you never talked to them. Like, you didn't talk to that person, you just didn't do it. So those were the relationships that I had. But I did actually have two kind of serious relationships prior to Jason. But funny story for you, in junior high, when I finally like kind of came out of my shell a little bit, like I wasn't like as ugly anymore, like I finally like got to this place in 8th grade where boys started to look at me. I waxed my eyebrows and got my hair done. So all of a sudden boys were like, oh, she's not bad looking. I started keeping track in my planner of how many boys I dated. And I had a list, my sister probably remembers because she'd make fun of me, of like all the boys I dated. And like, again, dating was like you walked around the halls with them. If they tried to kiss me, I freaked the fuck out. I was like, no, we're not going there. We're not doing this. I was a total prude. It's funny when your husband's standing right there. But yeah, I did actually have two kind of serious, which I considered serious longer term relationships prior to Jason. But been with my mans for, you know, longer than you've been alive, most likely. You're really happy with your life now and have no regrets. Yeah, I'm definitely like really happy in my life. I feel like there's some things that like I look back and I'm like, I wish I would have done this differently, or I wish I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a regret though, because I wouldn't be at this stage of my life I am right now as a person, in my relationships, in my professional life, if it wasn't for either the things I did wrong or didn't do well enough in my earlier years. So I try to not really have regrets over it, because what's the point? All you can do is learn from things in your life and become better. And yeah, I'm happy with where things are at right now. And I mean, shit, there's shit I want to change right now, I'm gonna be honest. Like, is there a way to just, like, not work, but, like, get paid? That would be goals. That's what I'm looking for, and that's probably not gonna happen, but Bruce Wayne gets more cuddles than Jason does. Verified. I got the head nod. That's probably true, and that's sad. Although, Jason and I cuddle at night, like, and then he gets hot, because I'm like a little heat box, and he's like, get off me, you're hot. Yeah, he like kick me. Can you dance? That's an assumption. You can't see these sweet dance moves, can ya? This is the majority of my dance moves. I practiced them last weekend. It's a little bit of Carlton, and like it's, you know, I like to drop the booty a little bit. Someone says that you're very intelligent and a leader. That's funny. I don't consider myself either, to be honest with you. Am I very intelligent? I feel like I'm not talking bad about myself, but I just feel like I have to work hard. I have to work very hard to retain information. Like in college, I chronically had to make index cards to keep it in my mind. And I feel like if I don't utilize information, I lose it very easily. So I'm like a very visual learner. It might be why I'm always using my hands so much. Apology for that. But I have to actually apply the information or else it's like gone. So I feel like that makes me not intelligent, but in terms of being a leader, I mean, I'd like to think I'm a leader. I think I could make improvements, but I guess I do feel like I'm a leader in the aspect of like, when I think back to my college years, you know, when you have to do group work and you friggin' dread it, but like someone's gotta like friggin' sail the ship because everyone else is just sitting there like not wanting to do anything. I feel like oftentimes I was that person, like, okay, who's doing what? You do this. So I don't know if it's being a leader or that I'm a little bit bossy, which worked into my professional career because I don't know, I always kind of had opinions and wanted to work above and beyond what my current job duty was. So I never took the approach, and I still don't, of when I come to work like, well, this is my job and this is all I'm gonna do bare minimum. I always think above and beyond that, and I work in a hospital. So for me, it's like, if it impacts the hospital, then that's my role. And I don't think everyone feels that way depending on their pay grade, but I always felt that way, and I think that led into me transitioning into management or leader style positions. So a lot of people thinking I'm laid back and down to earth, which I would say that's accurate. I assume that you don't have an angry voice. I feel like you're the type of person that has a nice mad voice. I don't have a very good bark. It's not very good. I think, yeah, I'm just sweet all around, you know? Even when I'm being bitchy, I'm like still a little bit sweet about it. I think. You always work out fasted before work. It's pretty much true. Yeah, I would say that's accurate. That you work 24/7. That is very inaccurate in my eyes. I'm actually not a workhorse, so I think it depends whose eyes you're looking at it through, because I feel like my family does see me as like a little worker bee, because I always have so many different things going on, but like I'm not a workaholic. Like, I need my downtime, so even though I do several different things outside of my day job, I need like that relaxation where, you know, I'm cuddling Bruce and Jason and I'm just watching TV and I'm just chilling out, or I have my me time where I go to the sauna or I get a massage, and I need that downtime. So I'm not someone that's going to work into all hours of the night. I also need my sleep, and I have found I'm a happier person if I prioritize that above and beyond work. So definitely I take my much needed time off. You're a fan of grunge music. I don't even know how to define that anymore, because I feel like grunge music doesn't exist in 2018. I could be wrong, but like when I think of grunge music, I think of like Nirvana, I think of Stone Temple Pilots, I think of Bush back in the day, like 90s grunge, like early 90s, Soundgarden I loved, Rob Zombie or White Zombie. I listened to so many different styles of music. Music was my absolute thing growing up. Like it was like a priority to me was music and what kind of music you listen to. I really loved a lot of like punk, hardcore stuff growing up. Like we had these little hardcore clubs, if you will, with like shows you know? So if you were cool, you went to the shows. That was kind of my scene. So, and I do still really enjoy that music. I just feel like it's not, you don't find music like that anymore. So, okay, next assumption, you're a control freak like me. I'd say that to be true. I'm gonna be honest. I like to be in control. It really bothers me if I'm in a situation with a lot of people and I'm not controlling it. Depending on the situation. There's other times where I'm like, I am fine with sitting back and letting other people handle everything. But, you know, in terms of like vacations or, geez, even when I'm at work and I'm in a meeting where it's really not even relevant to my role, I can't help but open my mouth and like give my opinion and try to guide people. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a control freak. Someone assumes that I always work out. I don't. I think that's why if you follow me on Instagram, I don't post like workout selfies all the time. I mean, I work out consistently though, don't get me wrong, but it's not, I think back to how it once was for me where I worked out twice a day, even when I wasn't competing. Okay, I was like hardcore obsessed, too obsessed. But I work out usually 4 to 5 times a week. I always aim for five times a week. I usually take 2 full days off from the gym, but sometimes more depending on my life. Like last week, I only trained 4 days a week, but you know, I think that's a good amount, but it's not, like fitness and working out is something I love, but it's not something that consumes me where I need to be in the gym like 2 to 3 hours a day like I once was. Someone assumes that I don't like cats, and that's so not true. I love cats. I had a cat growing up, rest in peace, little Duster Busters. He was so cute. He hated me, I think, but he was so cute. I love cats, but Jason is deathly allergic to them. Otherwise, we probably would have like some of those little smushy face cats running around like curling up with Bruce. Either that or like slapping him up, because sometimes cats are cranky, but no, I love cats. I love all animals. Someone assumes your goal is to make your side business your full-time gig. I'm a big fan of your content. That's kind of like, I think so, but I'm like still uncertain where I see myself going with all of this, to be honest with you. There's pros and cons of both. My true passion is helping people live a healthier lifestyle. I just don't know how that looks for me long term and making a career out of it. But right now I'm happy with what I'm doing, and I do hope to do more with it someday. So we'll see how it goes. So I would say that's an accurate assumption. And we'll go through the last assumption, which seems to be the bulk of y'all's assumptions. It's all over the place, and I've talked about this quite a bit on the channel, but I'm just gonna read some of them for you and then respond as a whole. Assumption, you want kids more than Jason does. Assumption, you don't want to have kids. Assumption, you want to have 3 to 4 kids at some point. That you're not going to have a child. That you and Jay either cannot have kids or you never really wanted any. You don't want to have kids, you don't want to have children, you don't want kids. So a lot about kids with the assumption. I'm gonna, in terms of the one about me wanting kids more than Jay, here's the thing, like, I am still of the mindset that I'm not like 100% positive, okay? I feel like I still have time to figure it out. Where I'm at in my life right now though, it's very conflicting for me, and that's probably like too deep for an assumptions video, but it's conflicting for me that I don't know, that like I don't have this strong desire to have kids, but then I also don't have this like strong confident, like I definitely don't want to have kids. So I get kind of left in the middle, like, well, why don't I have a strong opinion on it? I would say that I'm definitely more confused in that area than Jason is, where Jason's more like, he's good to go with like no kids. And I'm still kind of like, I'm not certain. Never say never still for me in that regard. I don't know if I can have kids or not, to be honest. I've never tried. So that's not an issue that I know of. We've just never tried. It's not something that's been something we both decided we wanted. I will say when we decided to get married, it was something we both kind of knew going into marriage, where we stood on it, that, you know, Jason was kind of like, I'm not really thinking so, and I'm like, that's fine, I'm with you, we'll figure it out when we get there. So just to throw a little suggestion out there to you guys, you know, make sure you're on the same path with your partner. And that's not to say that like your mind can't change, but definitely make sure you have that conversation with your partner before committing to a marriage, because I have seen some people that end up where things don't work out because they have issues in that regard. But I think I've answered this on like almost all my Q&As because that's what you guys always ask, and it's just not something that Jason and I desire right now. Never say never, probably most likely not, but that's it. I don't know. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys because that seems to be what everyone wants. I don't know. Bruce Wayne is like a giant human. He is like a giant baby, literally. And so I fulfill a lot of my motherly instincts, I feel like, with taking care of him. So I don't know if that's where for me I'm like good to go with being a crazy dog lady for the rest of my life. So I think I answered all your assumptions that you guys had. I hope you enjoyed this video, got to know me a little bit better as a person. If you did, hit that thumbs up button below, and we will see you guys in the next video.